Hey, welcome back to Top Agent Training. Let's talk about best practices before the inspection. There is another training that talks about prepping your sellers, prepping your buyers, goes a little bit deeper. If you are on the sell side, I would tell you that it's most important that the house be as inspectable as possible. You don't want to have attic accesses blocked. You don't want to have access to rooms blocked. You don't want to have portions of the exterior blocked because if some people will then go, well, we didn't see that. We want to bring the inspector back. There's a re-inspection fee, and it just turns into a headache, and it's all avoidable with just a little bit of prep work prior to the inspection. Also on the list side, I would make sure that your pilot lights for all gas burning appliances, fireplaces, etc., are on. Make sure the water's on. Make sure the electricity's on, and I think that's. I mean, you want the house to be as presentable as possible, right? It's if you were going to sell a car, you wouldn't have the radio disconnected. You want to make sure the radio was working so when someone's test driving it. So just think of it as a test drive, and you want everything as operational as possible. Let me show you what we do to prep. Our list is we review any of the notes. So specifically, we would have asked you and your client if you guys have any concerns about the house, so the inspector knows the first thing that you'd be worried about. We double check that all the inspectors that should be, in other words, if there's a pest control for termites, sewer inspector for the sewer, mold inspector for the mold, lead paint for lead paint, etc. Do we have access instructions? So we handle that. We call the listing side after we get the buyer side scheduled. We make sure we know who's meeting us, their names, all the equipment is ready to go and charged up. We will have already pulled the property history report. We review any major dates and highlights in there, and then we're not going to show up at 7:30 for an 8 o'clock inspection. We're not going to show up at 7 a.m. for a 9 o'clock inspection. We're not going to do anything weird like that to embarrass you guys in the whole real estate transaction. On the buy side, I would just tell you that the most important thing is that you let the inspector have the time with the house that they need to figure out everything that's going on. Try not to show up too early. Everybody says, oh, I'm just going to take measurements and I'm going to, just don't worry about me. I'm not going to bother you. And then all they do is talk and talk and talk. So if you're going to show up and do that, but you really got to let the inspector focus, because the more, even me, I've done thousands and thousands of houses, but if I'm chatting with you, I'm focused on our conversation. I'm not focused on the house. If I'm focused on the house, it's almost impossible for me to chat with you in a way that's meaningful. So, yeah, it's important that you get there towards the end. Report will be done. We'll be able to show you everything. Every question you want to ask, we'll be ready to go. And if your client is out of town, you will enjoy that. Our reports come with snapshot sections, which is photos and videos of us operating everything, operating the plumbing, videos inside the attic, the roof, if there's a crawl space, videos inside the electrical panel, and then a thermal imaging section where after we would have run all of the plumbing, we thermal scan the whole outside, the inside, make sure there's no plumbing or outside water leaks, make sure there's no electrical issues and there's no insulation issues. So if everybody does their part, it's almost always a very smooth transaction. So what we want to do is we want to work with our realtors, both on the listing side and on the buy side, so that the clients who only do this once every couple of years are fully knowledgeable of the best steps they can take so that we can all take the best care of your clients. Okay, we'll see you on the next training.